from the world of business. And Tolulokpa Ogunjobi is here with me in the studio. Tolu.
Thank you so much, as always, Abosede. Well, in business news, the North Central Region Coordinator of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has warned marketers that strict compliance will be enforced on retail licenses, particularly for those found guilty of under-dispensing and illegal petrol peddling. This warning was made during an inspection campaign of petrol stations in Abuja and its environs, aimed at combating under-dispensing and ensuring consumers receive the correct quantity of petrol at approved prices.
We keep on fining, and why you don't see us sealing a complete retail outlet station is because we don't want to create a panic in the system, you understand, because by the time we seal a station completely, the traffic in that station will move to another station, and before you know it, a queue will be created and the impression will be that there's scarcity. So we don't want to send that wrong signal to the public. That's why we seal pump by pump. And today alone, we have sealed over 20 pumps.
Apart from checking, if there's any system they can put to monitor these things from their own outlets, because I feel like the world has advanced. By now, they should have things that could inform them that, okay, they are temporary meter elsewhere. Like if it's a device they can just implement on the fueling machines, it will really be helpful, because
I think I'm a victim of such. You know, you go buy fuel. The moment maybe you're buying fuel for 20,000 naira, and you know where your fuel gauge gets to when you buy fuel of 20,000 naira. Then suddenly you come into the car as you're driving off. The gauge is not going up. Then you know there's something fishing.
In other reports now, a new report by Edmond Trust Barometer unveiled in Lagos reveals Nigeria's perception of the government, businesses, and the rich. The report also reveals that a percentage of Nigerians feel the system favors the privileged few at their expense. The Edmond Trust Barometer is an annual global survey that measures public trust in 4 key institutions: government, business, NGOs, and media. In Nigeria, where economic hardship, insecurity, and governance and challenges persist, the Trust Barometer offers a valuable lens into how citizens feel and where they are placing their hopes or disconnect. The 2025 edition is particularly significant as it marks 25 years of tracking trust globally at the time of intensifying civic frustrations and calls for reforms. First launched in 2001, it has become a widely referenced benchmark for understanding how people worldwide perceive institutional integrity, competence, and ethics.
You can't manage what you can't measure. It is very clear, and communication tends to be a lot of time associated to the wishes of some gurus. But once you have clear insight, actionable information that you can use to justify your strategy, define your outcome, it makes a difference. So why the Trust Barometer is important is because it provides us a guidance in what we do as communication professionals. Through the Edelman Trust Barometer, we can work on defining communication strategies that address competence and ethics, which matter in defining that trust.
We believe that public sector transformation should be owned by everyone, not just the public sector, not just the government or elected officials, but also private sector, civil society, and all citizens, because there's an interdependence that exists within all these different sectors. The private sector thrives when the public sector works. Citizens can live good lives when they are able to receive the goods and services from the public sector. So it's very important that all these different parties collaborate to ensure that the public sector works.
The Edelman Trust Barometer came about in 1999. During the World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference, when a lot of sort of NGOs, lobbyists, environmentalists were really protesting at the fact that policies by the World Trade Organization were favoring multinationals at the expense of people, at the expense of the environment, at the expense of developing nations. So that came about 25 years ago. And as a result, we've been looking at, we've been studying trust for the last 25 years, and really massive global events also have an impact on essentially what the report ultimately shares with us.
And wrapping up business news, the Nigerian maritime sector took center stage at the 5th John Olenji Ports Industry Town Hall meeting with theme Bridging the Gaps to actualize 24-hour port operations. The event highlighted pressing challenges and practical solutions to modernize the country's maritime logistics landscape. TVC News senior business correspondent Ifunanya Eze reports, and we'll be back with sports news.
The event brought together key industry players to address challenges stalling round-the-clock port operations. Concerns raised included poor infrastructure, limited automation, insecurity, weak interagency collaboration, and a lack of night shift manpower.
Why must we have 24 hours? Modern seaports like Singapore, Rotterdam, Busan are active 24-hour port days per week. Their uninterrupted activity allows for quicker vessel turnaround, optimized cargo flows, and synchronized hinterland logistics. Nigeria, by contrast, loses productive hours at night, resulting in ship discharge delays and increased costs that are passed down to the Nigerian consumer.
Nigerian culture also has to be looked into, because you cannot say you want to operate 24 hours and because of a salah break, everywhere is shut down. So we also need to look into that.
There's need for government to give a clear policy directive on issue of port, 24-hour port operation. It's doable. We have what it takes to do it. But there must be a political will to drive it.
They called for better digital systems, improved terminal lighting and surveillance, enhanced road access, and stronger coordination among port agencies.
The port needs to be modernized. We need to have 24-hour light in the terminal. We shouldn't be running generators. Most of the terminal operators run generators 24/7. There should be a power station there that actually takes control of the light and the needs for the port operation so that we can work 24 hours.
The port community system, it's a platform that brings together all the actors of that are working inside the port. So basically what it does, it's giving a single point of entry for all the documents that are needed in the process. And also it's dispatching these documents to the persons, to the agencies that are needed.
Participants also urged policy enforcement and reforms to ensure accountability across the logistics chain. Ifunanya Eze, TVC News, Lagos.